Kia ora and welcome to Ngā Punawai Sports Hub, located here in the city of Ōtautahi, Christchurch. We've been blessed with an amazing day. The weather has been fantastic, wild windy. We've just seen the completion of the second game here on day one of this Trans Tasman Test Series between New Zealand and Australia, the three open grades. Before we talk about the upcoming game, which is the final one for today, the Men's Open, I'm joined here in commentary with Rhys Allen. Rhys, your summary of the previous game we just seen between the Open Women's from both New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, once again, Maya, a clinical performance by the Australian women's side. They continue to go back to what works. They keep going back to the well, and that's their set completion and working the ball at speed with great fundamentals in the game, and their ability to pass, run, dive. They're physical, they're in front in touches, and, you know, in that game 7-4, the scoreline reflects the result.
Yeah, it's weird to talk about fundamental skills and fundamental aspects of the game when I've said a number of times, this is the tippity top of this sport in the world. But when it comes to the touching, there's a significant difference between what the Australians do in terms of intentionally. I imagine it's just muscle memory for them now. It's what they do all the time. They get in front and disrupt, make the roll ball hard for the attacking players. And it's glaringly obvious between the two sides. Been really impressed. I was really impressed with the women's team, just the way they went throughout every single minute of that whole game in terms of mentally and emotionally. Not at any stage did you see the head drop. When I think of that Australian Open women's team, I think of like four words: purposeful, accurate, clinical, direct. We talked about it at the start of the game, and we just seen it all the way throughout that game, particularly through that orange zone. So You actually made a comment there towards the end of the game in terms of not that they took the foot off, but they sort of started coasting in that second half. You felt maybe the Australian Open women's team.
Yeah, I did. There was definitely a change. I could read it from the sub box over here on our near side. They started to mix up the yardage patterns, whereas in the first half they just stuck to the same one. Was no surprise to me that they went to option 2, 3 and 4 without doubt, looking forward to tomorrow and potentially sealing the series. The first game in every series is so critical, and there New Zealand in the Open mixed got the first game. There the women's have hit back for Australia in this Trans-Tasman battle on day one. It's 1-1 at the moment, New Zealand versus Australia, and it doesn't get any better than the boys going toe-to-toe. Open men's, the pinnacle, the highest level you can get in the game.
Absolutely. We see both teams lined up there, as well as the three referees for this one. At the front, we have Logan Forrester, and behind Logan, we have John Dusto, and then behind that, David Baggio, one of the best referees in the world, one of the best to ever do it, and been at the top end of the game for over a decade now. So when you have the best teams, you need the best refs, and these are the three best in the world. It's fantastic to see these referees here. Referee Dusto, for those locals in New Zealand, when I say locals, retired from refereeing at the national level, the last nationals, and this will be his last event. So I'm sure he's ready to go to make it a good one. Just looking at these pictures, the stadium isn't full. Are you expecting it? Are you surprised that it's not full? The embankments are got a lot more people on them now. I imagine that's because that's where the sun's hitting and there's not any sun hitting that stadium.
Yeah, Maya, with this easterly wind here, it's going straight into the stand there. So those that are up there are braving. Obviously got the better jackets, swan dryers or huffers, but there's plenty of crowd around. They're just... You can't really see them. There's a couple up on the bank there braving the weather as well. Yeah, we'll hang loose, bro. But yeah, we've got people up there, 50 on each end. But the touch community here, they know that this is day one. It's Anzac Day. A lot of kaupapa are on for the whānau down here. This number will swell tomorrow. Knowing that the Open mixed are a chance to seal a series, the women's are going to need to fight back, and depending on who gets this game, it's going to be all on in the men's grade tomorrow. Someone is going to have a 1-0 lead regardless. So plenty of ex-players, especially in this men's grade around the globe, that'll be tuning into this. They stay pretty tight, the Open men's fraternity, and you know, you've got the Skinner whānau over in the Gold Coast there. They'll be obviously a former captain, Leon Skinner. You would have refed him a lot in your time, 50 plus test player. There's plenty of local touch blacks in terms of the men's. You got them in Singapore, Perth. They're all over the place. They'll be tuning in. So to those that are out there enjoying a fizzy drink and watching the boys go to battle here, a big shout out to us from down here in Canterbury, and obviously with the Australian contingent as well. With the success they've had, they'll be tuning in because they know what it takes to win Trans Tasman Test, let alone one on Anzac Day. I am starting to warm into this one.
I thought actually Logan was going to run out first. It's his 50th test, this one. Huge milestone for Logan. 50 tests. I'm pretty sure Dusto's bringing up his 50th test too. Badge has done about 150, so he's done more than these two put together. Just going back to Leon Skinner, I was involved in games he was. I'm not sure I reffed him or if he told me how to ref. One of the two. It was a pleasure. However, men's open, I've used the term tippity top, the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle. This is the biggest game of touch that you can be involved in, the biggest game of touch that there ever is or will be played. And there is one of the greats, some say GOAT, some say the best to ever lace it up in the gold uniform. Leads his troops out. We talked about the juggernaut, that is the open women's. But this open men's team and the success that they've had, very similar. We look at scores from the World Cup. They beat New Zealand 6-9 in the World Cup final in the last Trans Tasman Series before this in 2023. Beat the Kiwis by 4 in game 1, by 1 in game 2, and then the New Zealand team got up in the third game. So it is getting a little bit closer between these two teams, Reece. Your thoughts on do you think the Kiwis will get over top? Not could, but will get over top of this Australian team?
Look, it's a strong side, Maya. I look through the names, you got some guns out there, plenty of players coming out of the county's Manukau side, scattering of Auckland Waikato players. Waikato in the past have really dominated this team in terms of personnel, but with some of them moving on, new blood has come in, plenty from Harbour, out of the Pearl Jam clubs, the Loaded Club coming out of Auckland, Wairere, you've got other clubs that are represented. We've got our solo men's representative out of Canterbury, Harry Kirk, and I must give a big shout out to Harry and his selection in the 16 because he's worked really hard over the last couple of years to get this, and he deserves everything he gets, and hopefully he gets on the field. But Maya, it's a strong team. You've got the light feet of E4 Jones, you've got his brother who's a ruckman with a beautiful dive, great wingers. Sinclair, who's the hot hand around the country at the moment, on the New Zealand team, unofficially, Maya, I believe this is the first time that there's been a captain and co-captain from the same club loaded. So if I'm wrong, please get online and have a go at me. But what an honour, not only for the loaded club, but for these boys to be selected as leaders of their country.
Talking about honours and achievement, Matty Sinclair, you've seen him lead the team out, one of the co-captains of this team, but also his 50th test. It's hard to get to 50 with the quality of players that we have in our country. So, Matty, congratulations, mate. And if New Zealand are to get up over this Australian team, it's going to be him that's going to need to lead that way. We just now have both teams assembled in front of us. We will once again hear the national anthems for both of these teams.
now the national anthem of Aotearoa, New Zealand. As we remember those who are no longer with us on this very special Anzac Day. We will bring it in.
The national anthems for both countries, followed by the moment's silence. We once again acknowledge those and remember those who've gone before us, who made those sacrifices. Just over 2 hours ago, Reece, we said we're here, we're finally here, the start of the 2025 Trans Tasman Touch Series. Before the tap-off of the mixed game, now 2 hours on, we find ourselves just before the start of the final game on day one, the biggest game, the one everyone is so interested in this outcome. I'm just going to put it to you straight. Who wins and what's the score?
Oh, New Zealand by 2. I'm going to go for a 7-5. I'm going to back the New Zealand boys to have a great defensive game. 5 points sounds a lot, but at this level, Aussie can put 5 on in 10 minutes. So I think they're up for it. I've just been looking through the names, and there's a lot of hot hands here, but also defensively strong. I think we're going to see some great plays from the edge players, the likes of Finn Barnett. Also, you've got Suda Finch out there, Hana. These guys have been great through the summer. I know there's been a bit of a breakthrough through this stanza coming into April, but man, I'm really looking forward to it. Daniel back in the mix as well. We know what we're going to get on attack. You're going to see some hot feet, you're going to see some hot hands, but I'm going to go New Zealand by 2. It's going to come as a bit of a shock because this Aussie side, this Australian side is stacked, still full of talent, like 63 games, Dylan Hennessy. You're right, and when we talk about Leon Skinner and you put them in terms of the greatest of our game, David Muir, Drummy, Leon Skinner, he's in the conversation. You throw a blanket over those names, Maya. It's going to be on. We're sitting down now. In about 3 minutes, we're going to be on our feet.
Just a random question, but when you're the home nation, you get to choose which sub-box you want to be out of. The Kiwis have chosen the sub-box on the side where the grandstand is, and that's normally the case in terms of that, having that crowd support, etc. But I wonder if it's actually not an advantage this time with regards to the sun. It's gone behind the stadium, and as we ran across earlier between these two games, there's a noticeable difference in the temperature between that side and this side. We're sitting on just behind where the sub-box for the Australian team is, and it's actually quite pleasant. The sun's beaming in. Yes, it would be in their eyes, but I just wonder if that's a little bit of a missed trick there.
All those things come into play. Something, you know, it's a question we can ask after this game. What's the logic? What's the thinking behind it, Maya? But, look, this game is going to be... Every game comes down to inches, but it could come down to the conditions. It could come down to the sub-box you choose. Who knows? But loving the referee crew that's been rolled out, and I didn't get a chance in the last game, but those three that refereed that last game, Maya, they kept those girls... apart, and that game was free-flowing. There was the odd penalty, but only on the 7 on the goal line. They kept the middle of the field open, and it was a beautiful spectacle.
Yeah, listening to, receiving the feedback from most players, they say there's two things we want from the refs: to keep us apart and for you to keep out of the game, and that's exactly what they did. They kept the two teams apart, and there was very little whistle, only when it needed to be. So well done to all the referees who have made it. These players have made it into these New Zealand teams, or these referees have had to make it too. Some might think they might get paid. Not only do they not get paid, they have to pay to come here, and we're talking thousands. So it's an achievement by these referees as it is these players, and believe me, having had the absolute privilege of refereeing a number of these open men's clashes, still remember back to 2009 in Wollongong, I think it was 2009. First game, New Zealand versus Australia open men's. I was probably as fit as I've ever been. I went out, and after 5 minutes I was waving that white flag thinking there's no way I can keep up with this game. And by the end of that game thinking there is no other game I ever want to ref. So we're about to see a humdinger. There's no game that will be faster, no game that will be more physical. And yes, it is called touch, but sometimes I wonder if that word is a little bit loose with what we're about to see.
Yeah, and just a special mention to the debutantes. 3 coming out of the New Zealand. Ethan Jones is making his debut for the men's open after being in the open mix, but also the 4 boys making their men's debut for Australia. The hot hands coming out of Aussie. You're going to see Griffin, you're going to see Norman, Russell, Hennessy's going to be on the ball. Langbridge, what a great selection this is. 15 tests for Australia in the open mix. Gets his opportunity in the men's grade. Coming out of Dorston, he'll also be a prominent player for Australia. It's going to be toe-to-toe. And let's hope for a real battle here, as it always is. Trans Tasman test, but we keep going back to it. It doesn't get any better than this.
There's the 2-minute music. If you're not hyped up yet, you will be in 2 minutes' time. It's talk about us sitting down at the moment as we both get up in preparation. It's almost as if we're ready, and I'm glad we're not. Well, definitely not me, Fane. If I couldn't keep up then, I wouldn't even last a second now. See, to start this game, referee Dusto. First Trans Tasman, only the 5th referee, I think, in New Zealand to ref a New Zealand versus Australia Trans Tasman game. 7-5, I'm going to hold you to it. And I'll let you know what we're playing for with about 10 seconds to go in the game. Might be just a hug.
Yeah, well, I'll appreciate that, and congratulations on your win this morning as well. You had a great partner at golf. Well done. So, yeah, well played. And hopefully, New Zealand have just got to be very competitive in every single facet of the game here. They get the tap early on. Wouldn't surprise me if Australia actually deferred the toss, but look for the hot hand here. E4 Jones at the left link here, the near side of your screen. Matty Sinclair's on there. Great long baller off his left side downwind as well. So, plenty of background on the New Zealand team. Star-studded MU's team in the open men's. And ladies and gentlemen, watching across the globe, if you're not already sitting down, put your seatbelt on, strap in, and we are on here.
Here it is, New Zealand get us started. Strong touch straight away. Look at the Australian defence just lifting up in that second touch. Again, getting in square, squaring up the attack there from Puturangi. Beautiful player, just so elegant on attack. Trying to get to their spots. Sinclair now goes back to the right. Did you see the early release there from the Australian winger? I probably won't get a replay of that, but he had gone before Matty even threw the ball. Such was his read. Incredible start. We talked about these two teams, and we're really looking forward to the attack, but the defence from that Australian team to start the set with has just been exceptional.
Early latch on here from Australia, weaving his way through onto the 30-metre mark. Last touch coming up. Early sweeper. They check back to the short side here on the 32 platform, going open, looking to hit the short link. Yeah, and in the lane, zero touch.
Good individual play there by Reihana, and now they get the penalty. I'll tell you what, watching that defensive set from Australia and then that first attacking set, in terms of seatbelts, this New Zealand team, if they haven't been shot in the arm with what needs to happen, those two sets would have done it. Here they are now on attack. Now just pulling out, getting things set again.
Rooster plate. Rocky Willison looking to go behind the back of the ball, but no, he draws a penalty there.
Good ball movement there from New Zealand, isn't it, right? They're not just stopping there and letting the Australians dictate to them.
Very cheeky player here coming up here. Lance Davids looking for the bounce out on the length. Good early dive by New Zealand. John Dusto backs up into the dead ball line, and I said to it earlier, nice dive on the young pup there, even on Jones out of the wide area touch club. New Zealand take a 1-0 lead, and that's been the story of the day. Turner plants. Davids looks to go infield on a bounce out. Avion Jones with a beautiful low dive, and that's his skill set there, and New Zealand go 1-0 up against Australia.
Excellent start, Kiwis. Oh, now Australia, unforced error. After the start they had, the Kiwis have put the first one on the board. Great opportunity now, starting 20 metres off their defensive scoreline. Do they get... Well played, Poihipi. You see him there, just milked that. Well, the gamesmanship, that's just smart from Poihipi, drawing that penalty out. Perfect opportunity to attack from.
Here he goes, E4 Jones on an early sweep. He's looking to use his footwork, beautiful footwork and a low dive. They can review, they can watch, they can plan as much as they want, but at the end of the day, you've got to try and stop it. A little bit passive on defence there, Australia, which is surprising. You cannot give E4 Jones that much time with his footwork, and especially his passing ability. Looks for the inside, uses his footwork step, fakes the pass, squeezes the ball over the line there.
For the casual observer, you won't truly appreciate how the quality of that from E4 was. There is no better defending team than the Australians, so to beat three defenders, it's just incredible. But now they're straight on to attack. Big pass out to this left. It's a second intercept there from Reihana. Good start for him.
Yeah, Suter there in great position. He's playing the hardest wing. He's downwind at the moment, solo winger, and he's also having to do with a dummy half mahi. So great work there. Great start by Reihana as Raiki Willison comes to the short side, looks for the passer from the backside there. And New Zealand again draw another penalty, another completed set. That's 4 completed sets in a row there for New Zealand.
But direct with purpose, right? And that's why if they're not getting the touchdown, they're drawing the penalty. The purpose in this attack, but connection. Connection was a big word we used last game. This team looks like they're ready to go. They're sucking 2 defenders in. You don't normally see that from the Australians. Footwork there from the New Zealanders.
Oh, unfortunate there. New Zealand were looking to build their attack into that last touch option. Really loving the work of Finn out here on the wing. He's really prominent getting off the line as Australia look to get some momentum with an early latch play here, but going infield. Beautiful work there by the subbing on player. Checking it out to Hennessy. Hennessy looking to get back onto the board now. Comes in on the dingo plate. Short side into the in goal. And just like that, Australia hit back 2-1.
Looked like they had it covered too. Unfortunately, New Zealand held the ball, went deep into the line. The Australian attacker thought there could have been in the ruck, got the ball away though. See here, Dylan, number 11, just gets into the line as deep as he can. Realises the in behind the defence. Strong touch there straight away. You're allowed to touch with your hands and your shoulders in the men's open, Reece.
100%. And straight away, it's the E4 Jones Dylan Hennessy show at the moment, looking to dominate the ball on attack. As New Zealand here will look to fight back. Still with a 2-1 lead. Checking off back to Jones. Jones. Yeah, just a little bit of a bobble there. That's New Zealand's first mistake with the ball.
It's obviously an intent from this New Zealand team to not have any static roll balls. Well, not let the defence just set up. Keep moving the ball laterally. Excellent yards there from the number 4, Jack Notley. Now they go the short side. Probably didn't even need to throw that second pass. He was in.
Yeah, they're really effective on that latch play, that fourth touch coming out of the sub-box there. They're really weaving between the New Zealand defenders, giving them a great strike opportunity off last. And again, that's back-to-back mistakes by New Zealand here, Maya. You can't give this Australian Open men's side too many chances down here. As Australia look to open up their game a wee bit here, they'll look to get live as much as possible, and they draw another penalty.
There's a real big difference in the way the two teams' defence historically. It always seemed to be a lot easier to see the New Zealand team not moving forward as it was the Australians. So need to be working as one with this New Zealand team. Tell you what, if you want someone defending your line, Matty Sinclair's one of those people. Now they go this right side, goes to Burnham. Fridusto calls the touch there. Great touch from number 12.
Yeah, great touch there on debut too. Snellgrove. Hennessy looking to come out of half. Goes to the strong side. Off the right hand. Last touch option there. Downwind, chucks it out. Looks to set the defence.
Been pretty good defensively that side. Poihipi and Reihana done a great job. Australia might sense that. Tend to favour this right-hand side. Oh, excellent work there, Davids. Just slipped over and unfortunately lost the ball at the same time.
3 mistakes in a row there from New Zealand. So Raul Das, coach Michael Kavanagh, they'll be hold appeal winning, but they'll be looking to correct that and get a completed set. Australia looking to work the ball, looking to open up the defence there. Lifted link by Davids, forces the mistake. Great defence there by Lance David out of the Pearl Jam Club.
How accurate have the referees been? They have missed absolutely nothing. Every sideways roll ball, every fumble in the ruck. Oh, down to 2 players on the field here are New Zealand. Interesting to see if they can get back. After that mistake, we've seen these players just go to the sub-box. Now they've got their full complement on.
Hennessy will work his way back onto the field here, no doubt. No. Australia's still staying nice and calm here on attack, looking to create opportunities here. There's the Rooster play again, the early release, looking to hit the winger. Great defence again there by Reihana. No, penalty there. Penalty awarded to Australia from John Dusto.
Just listening to the comms there from Corey Russell. There's the ball here now, giving clear direction to the other players. Oh, great work there from Barnett. Probably the best in New Zealand in that spot.
Oh, 100%. He's starting to really rack up titles at the club and provincial level now. And here they go, Australia, looking for the sweep. Early step back, looking for the lobby. Over the top there. Play well used by young Max Hughes here out of Canterbury. The lobby play, the little sinker that they call it in Aussie. And New Zealand really need to complete this set after making 4 mistakes on their yards. E4 Jones really dominant at the ruck ball there. Beautiful work as New Zealand get over the halfway. And they'll look to strike here. Sinclair coming in on the ball. Off to the left. Looking for the early pump. Yeah, good defence. Good shutdown defence. Great work by the far side winger there.
Yeah, great work both teams, wasn't it? Nice attacking. Nice attack there from New Zealand. Equal to it was the defence from Australia. Just an opportunity to get their defence set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the coaching staff and leadership of New Zealand will be thankful that they were able to complete a set there after a couple of early mistakes, and then that's what happens. You work down your win field position, all of a sudden the other team can make a mistake, and now they have a chance here with a full set on the goal line with Sinclair, newly appointed captain, on the ball. Here he goes, looking for the short side. Tatui on the dive. Great touch, number 4. Yeah, beautiful touch there. Notley.
They're throwing everything at them, aren't they, Reece, this New Zealand team? It's been a hot start, attackingly. Now Sinclair, he's who you want there. Oh, I thought he was in. Just went back for the lob. Didn't quite get there. Well done, Australia.
Tell you what, Maya, I don't know if everybody at home can hear the communication coming out of this near side sub-box Australia, but gee, they are in this. It's 2-1 to New Zealand, but Australia here draw the penalty on their yards, which a lot of the time they do, and now Hennessy's going to come on. It wouldn't surprise me if Hennessy looks to get live when they get down to the 7. And here Hennessy work in the middle of the field, although playing link, looking to get an opportunity. Here he goes out of half. Checks it off to the far side there. Coming in now, he faked them on that side. Oh, step back dive. Great touch there by the far side link. Turner, great work by the co-captain.
Again, keeping those standard high are the 3 referees. I tell you what, you can't ref a game like this by yourself unless your teamwork is precise. You just won't keep up with a game like this. We said it was going to be hot. I'm going to say it's even hotter than I thought it was going to be. Both teams just like headless chickens.
Oh, my, the furnace has been fully turned to the right. This game is on 2-1 to New Zealand at the moment. Hard on attack, looking to come in. E4 Jones dominates the attack there, gets into half. Singapore, great step back by the wing. Trey Poihipi with the step back. The cover wasn't there from Australia. New Zealand take a 3-1 lead. What a great little play here. E4 Jones with his footwork comes back to the short side. Chucks it over the top. Inside step by Trey, and he gets the walk-in try. Beautiful work. Here we go as Australia are coming in now. They'll look to hit back here. 7.5 minutes coming into this halftime break in this opening stanza. Australia getting to the 3-2 platform, looking for the early release. And again, it's that same play. They come on the rooster play, as they call it in Australia. The early release, and they're creating that extra player, and that player there is just walking in here. You can see it here on the short. The quick release. New Zealand released the outsides, and Willison there, Rucky, unfortunately, was unable to make that diving touch. Australia hit straight back. 3-2 New Zealand. Here we go, Sinclair back on the park now. Tiwi Davis out of the Bay of Plenty. Also the Waitere Club on the ball. Tatuhi, I really like this combination now. Tatuhi on the sweep, diver. Australia need to be sharp here on the follow. Sinclair unable to regather that one.
Sinclair East, for me, so far, has been a real facilitator at the moment. He doesn't seem to be doing much himself, like getting live, using his footwork, and I wonder if that's an intentional ploy with regards to bringing him into the game later on. But there's been a couple of options where I've seen quite a bit of space in front of him. He hasn't taken it. Released early.
Yeah, well, he's a real threat, and no doubt he'll be a head on the stake for Australia. They'll be over-reading him, and he's just looking to set everybody else up. But here come Australia. Obviously, they just picked the foot speed up here. Hennessy out of half. Hits the chopping link. Great defence again out there by Suda Finch. Ray Hunter's doing a great job out there on that wing.
I spoke to some of the team yesterday and I said, is there any difference in the game plan? And they didn't say there was too much of a difference in terms of the structure, other than a little bit more freedom in terms of using the skills that they have in the team, not to be robotic, but to just play a little bit more expansive laterally, I guess what they're saying. 6 touch, no. Got some comms here from the sideline.
Sideline official there, Logan Forrester, coming on and just giving a little bit of help to Dusto there. As Hennessy looks to take the second touch through the middle of the field, then they'll bring it to the sub-box here. Australia just head down, getting the ball down. Latch comes on a halfway. Really good press defence here. Last touch here for Australia, looking to go out of half. Feed the sweeper. It's a foot speed race. Hits the winger. Poihipi changed wings, nothing changed in terms of his defence. Another great touch.
I was going to ask you that when he scored that third touchdown. I was like, I'm sure I've been calling him over on that right-hand side. So obviously in terms of the setup of the rotation, for the wingers in this New Zealand team, probably playing 3 wingers and then just going on for whoever.
Very rare these days that they don't send a solo winger, especially the New Zealand Open men's. New year, new challenge, Anzac Series, new policies, liking the wee mixed up. Splitter plate.
And for someone who's had the opportunity to watch a lot of this touch, what I'm really excited about is the innovation that we've seen in all three teams, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. We saw it in the women's game, and now we're seeing it in the men's. They're throwing multiple attack plays in behind that high link, and the ball goes down again. Beautiful play there. Happened a couple of times in the women's game. I'll go back to it, but when that far side link, you see here, Davids will promote himself defensively into the line. He'll lift off the line looking for the intercept that goes behind him to the chopping link, score, try time.
3-3, 4 minutes left, and this is the first half of the first game in this series between Australia and New Zealand Open men's. The last game of what has been an incredibly entertaining day so far. Now here he is, Sinclair. We talked about his ability on attack. Not sure how happy he'll be with the cut there from the link for New Zealand.
Yeah, Sinclair, you mentioned it before, being a facilitator. He really tried to get himself on the ball there. But look at Australia as they just pound the field down. Dusto takes a subbing player to the shin, but he holds his feet. Player goes down. Great work, Johnny. As Australia, they just keep coming back to this right side, looking to set a platform for the right hand. Here goes Hennessy, little bobble, but still able to maintain his composure. Completed set regardless. Aussie really looking to take the heat up here with 3 minutes to go in this half.
No one's really got dominance in any real aspect or area of the game, do they? Both teams, and the attack, there's no sort of cookie cutter attack. Both teams, different options every time they get down to that score line. Nice little interpassing there from excellent work there from New Zealand. They've got another 20 metres, but not only that, they've got him behind the point defender. Now just going short, 6 touch.
Great defence there from Hennessy. Both sides of the ball. He's really taking charge of this Australian team, leading the way as captain. As he subs off, new subs come on. Here comes the latch player looking to engage that middle toucher as they roll into a late cut into a 5 touch. Here they go again with a short, but he holds on to it a little bit longer with the bouncing link. Great touch again by Poihipi out on that wing. Gee, these New Zealand wingers are keeping them in this one.
Excellent performance from the wingers from New Zealand, both countries. Actually, you'll know being a coach, if you're the last to score heading into half-time, it's almost like that try is worth more than one. So both of these teams, and unfortunately there, New Zealand doing exactly what they wouldn't have wanted to. Australia with a great opportunity now. 2 minutes left, fresh set, trying to draw that penalty out of this New Zealand team. Yeah, well done there. I think it was the number 10 for Australia.
Momentum's huge, Maya, you're right. The next team to score here with a minute and a half to go. If Australia get here, momentum is huge. Looked like a no touch there. Yep, played at there by the winger. Trey Poihipi probably saved the try again there. He's probably saved 4 or 5 so far. Him and Finch and Barnett. They're all working really hard there, both teams. Anzac battle doesn't get any better. Australia look for the crossover. Looking to check back. Beautiful defence there. Great communication in the middle. David's looking to promote himself here at link. Norman comes in on the splitter. Sorry, that was Corey Russell. Apologies there, Corey. Very similar with the hat backwards. A lot of times they play. It's a recount. We've got a minute to go, Maya. Australia on attack.
Yeah, is that the first or second penalty? Hopefully it's only the first there for New Zealand. They won't want to drop down one. They can defend this set. And this will be the last set they'll need to defend. Go the short side again. They're around at lightning speed. He loved it there. Did the link from New Zealand, number 15, Lance Davids. Actually thought there was a turnover.
It's not just the players that need subs. Great sub there, Johnny Dusto. Crossover play here. Beautiful dive. There we go. That's the first sign of a little bit of to and fro, a little bit of banter between players. And you usually see this around the goal line. Maya, you would have had the perfect view back in the day.
Great time to score. Yeah, well called there from David Baggio. Just both players, unfortunately, got caught on their heels. 4 seconds. This will be the last start. They won't get an opportunity. Will they try something? A late cut? No, they don't. Australia taking a 4-3 lead into the first half break. This is the First game between the two men's open teams. 4-3 Australia. Be right back after this break.
You'll find the perfect balance of experiences in Orthotahi Christchurch. Some you'd expect and others you wouldn't. We'll bring you closer to what you love and surprise you along the way. Grow with us.
We said it'd be electric, Reese. We said strap in, and you don't need to be Nostradamus to know that that was going to happen. It did. We haven't been left wanting. Your summary of the first half of the men's open game.
Oh, great start by New Zealand. They completed their sets. They got the key personnel on the ball. Efo Jones dominated the attack. Got to a 2-0 lead. Australia fought back through their set completion. Their gun players got on the ball. Hennessy was able to get live and use his footwork and his speed. And then, got into a big ding-dong battle. But coming into the back end of that half, Australia went 5 completed sets. Got a try at the back end just before half-time. New Zealand is sitting, for me, unofficially at 50% completion rate. We harp on it as commentators and people watching, but they're the coach killers, like coming off our line, giving away basic penalties. I know it's intense. I know this is the echelon of the game, but at the end of the day, you've got to complete. You can't sit at 50% in the open men's grade, regardless of where you are, let alone on Anzac Day against Australia. Yeah,
and a lot of those errors were unforced, and what I mean by that is it wasn't like they dropped the ball in a hard touch. It was just a pass to no one and that type of thing. So definitely, you need to be perfect to beat this Australian team, and like you say, 50% is a long way away from that. Before the game started, I asked you, what was your prediction? You said New Zealand 7-5. Now that you've seen a half, you've seen how this New Zealand team, this Aussie team are playing, how are you feeling with regards to that prediction?
Well, you can't win a game 7-5 and a drop-off. But, look, Australia, they just worked themselves into it, and this is just a typical Australian side that at 2-0, all of a sudden you think you're under the pump. They just went back to what they know how to do. Work the ball down the field, get the right personnel on the ball, and complete their sets. And there you have it. They've regained the lead at 4-3. In saying that, though, New Zealand are hanging in there. If they can tidy up their set completion, and I'm pretty sure the coaching staff will be encouraging and coaching to that. That'll be the comms going in. They're in this, but it's tight. Quick answer, not sure.
I said the team going into halftime, last to score, take a lot of momentum. Well, now it's even more crucial. The team that first to score in the second half, just out of shot. Unfortunately, Australia go across once again. 2 touchdowns in a row from Australia. One with 30 seconds to go. The first 30 seconds of the second half. Pretty simple too. Getting caught out. Lance Davids, see him put his hand up.
Yeah, he's really trying hard to get off the line, but they're just going in behind him and manipulating him a wee bit there. So here go New Zealand. They'll be looking to get this early hit back here. Momentum, as you say, was huge for Australia getting that one before half, and now they've solidified that with another try. Here goes Jones. Jones looking for going back to his low game. Working with his younger brother here in his debut for the Open men's. On the ball now, out of half. Rocky Willison looking for a dive, easy defence.
Quite a disjointed set of attack there from New Zealand. Didn't seem like anyone knew what was going on. Just passing it around and hoping for the best.
Yeah, currently we're sitting at a nice chilly 9 degrees down here in Christchurch, but it's not stopping the heat as Australia roll through the field here. Late cut into a 32 platform. Long ball off the left, winger slips over. Great first half by the New Zealand wingers, the trio, Barnett, Poihipi and Suda, but unfortunately slips over, and in this game, off the left platform, the left hand, beautiful spiral path downwind off the east, and Australia solidify their lead now by scoring again. Back-to-back tries now for Australia, 6-3 lead.
I think defensively New Zealand in that first 5 minutes, the middles were really connected, and obviously, mud rolls downhill. So if you're making the right decisions in the middle of the field, it's easier for the wingers. We're just starting to see those middles break down and almost making it mission impossible for the New Zealand defenders. They need to be 2 places at 3 times.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of players that have worn this black singlet around, kind of standing on their feet, yelling at their screens, but we're here live. There's a big energy coming out of this Australian sub-box, and they're just rolling down the field. They're sticking to the same yardage pattern as they come back to this left-hand side, looking to attack downwind off the left. Beautiful spiral pass again. Great touch out on the wing. Good release from the inside defenders there from New Zealand to release their winger on that one. And Poihipi again makes another great diving touch. They say in touch, if your winger makes a diving touch, perfect positioning. Well done, young pup.
Good set so far from New Zealand. See here, 4th touch. Some box players coming on. Nice drive. Good extra pass there. Putarangi now, what can he do? Again, it's sort of like that national level type thing, isn't it? Let's go 5 up, do a dump, I'll have a scoop and see what's in front of me. Australia, though, when they come on, they're targeting the exact spot on the field, the exact player.
Yeah, Australia just getting into their work now as they look to check off, looking for an option. See how they're dominating this left-hand side there on the last touch. Looking for the pick. Short side, open side. Looking for the short. Oh, I was just going to say he's in, but beautiful defense. Believe that was, my partner there, Davis. Looking good there. As New Zealand rucking ball down the field, they really need to fight back here. They really need to get a point. Although there's 15 minutes to go here, Maya, momentum will be, momentum could be stifled by Australia, but unfortunate mistake there.
What do you put a mistake like that down to? And that one there from the Aussies, just a lack of focus, is it? Just clocking off for that millisecond? See New Zealand get an opportunity, probably lucky. Australia couldn't make them pay for that last mistake. Give it right back to them.
Be interesting to see what the personnel here, Tetui on the field as well. Looking to work the ball here. Going to the middle. Sinclair looking for an early sweep. Played out there. New Zealand get a fresh set on the goal line. Looking to fight their way back into this one. Meyer at 6-3 with 15 to go.
Must be the next to score, New Zealand. Sinclair, see you want out there to do it. See the Australian defence. They're just so good at disguising the fact that they're sucking all the way back to the scoreline.
Yeah, the middles are really smart here in the links. The middles are baiting the slow player the ball, and then the link stepping up and making it to go into man on defence. And they say it's touch. Straight in there, the winger comes in, the Australian winger with the Kasana coming off the right edge there.
We have got the Warriors coming up in a few hours tonight down here in Christchurch.
Yeah, good result from the Broncos last night, but here we go. New Zealand hard on attack here. Once again, Sinclair looking to get himself in the game. They fake the short side, get it to Jones. Good defence there in the middle.
Australia's defence is dictating to New Zealand as to what attack they're allowing them to do, as opposed to the New Zealand attack manipulating these defenders. Just New Zealand not quite getting to the spots I know that they're wanting to get to. Back flick, did it go forward? By the sound of that whistle, it did.
51 Test veteran Pete Norman out of the Gold Coast Touch Association is really running that defence in the middle. You can hear him from all the way over here. And he's not shy of having a word too. He's into Jones straight away out there. He's in this fight. Leading well as Australia continue. Hennessy plants the ball. They'll look for a platform to come back to him. Driving off the left hand. Step back short, created an extra man. Tap on by Hennessy. Ball to ground, good defence.
Yeah, good defence, New Zealand. Well done. They've just sort of they've stopped the storm that was happening to them. And now they're just going to need a fight back. Go the short side. Oh, again. A lot of risk for not much reward there.
Yeah, away set here. They're just trying to show them a different picture so they can open up the open side, and that's 2 to the 35. So it's not a bad ploy, but Australia will click onto that pretty quick and shut that down. Tiwi looking to come open side again. Really like to see Tiwi on the ball off the right hand here if possible. Young Avion Jones on the drive. Tiwi right hand looks to hit the passive. Great defence by the Australian winger once again.
Yeah, but it's a really hard platform to have, I guess, high accuracy in terms of the outcomes you're achieving on attack, whereas you see the Australian team, they really flow into it, just like we've seen their women's do in the previous game, flowing into all the attack, momentum moving forward, the defence backpedaling. Late Cartwell read in the middle by the number 4, Ike Willison. Just too easy. It's never a good thing when you see the defenders looking at each other and wondering, yours. Again, not much on. So defence was set. Just the comms. Hard to hear. We can't hear them, but you'd have to think that the connection in terms of the communication just isn't where it needs to be with this men's team at the moment.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Just Tiwi there kind of caught on his heels there at link. Really needed to be a little bit more proactive. Australia, it's obvious that they're looking to attack that link defender. Jones looking to go to the passing game downwind. Very, very smart play by these Australian wingers at the moment. 7-3 lead. We're coming into crunch time now for New Zealand. They really need to pick the pace up, start forcing a few errors. Aussie now showing a different picture, looking for that extra check off on yards now. Here we are on last. That's actually touch 4.
Short 7 there on that one. Probably got away with it. Did the Kiwis, but you take what you can get. Excellent work there from the 16. Francis Morrison. Sinclair with another great yard, just getting his team on the front foot. Oh, unfortunately there, Morgan Putirangi couldn't quite pick that one up. Oh, excellent work here from Jake Notley. 60 metres, well not 60 metres, 40 metres. First touch.
Notley's made a couple of critical plays for this Australian side in this open men's game. He's been quite critical in terms of getting the ball down the field as well. So he's playing very, very strong. A recount on the set, and you don't need to look no further than number 6 here for Australia.
It's crazy. He looks like he's out on a Sunday stroll. The body language just so composed. He's done this a gazillion times before. While he's playing against the black singlet. Just looks like the same picture. Hennessy comes in 33 PL, goes right. I just feel like defensively New Zealand are watching and then they're reacting, as opposed to defensively having a plan and trying to dominate or trying to dictate. I guess is probably a better word to this Australian attack. They're sitting back, watching the Australian attack and then trying to react to what it is they're throwing at them.
Yeah, you're bang on, Maya. I'm pretty sure that the review tonight will show that, like very flat-footed. They really need to show a lot more energy here, New Zealand, as we're coming into the back half of the second half. Check it out to the winger, looking to shift it back to the other side. Sun's starting to take its effect. Tiwi back on the ball, play through, looking to hit the link. Australia wingers on that far side downwind have been outstanding. All wingers have been outstanding in this game, but in particular on that far side. It can't be easy. And Hennessy just working the ball to the sub-box. He's been great as well. Their captain leading example.
Watch the flow here. He's been outstanding. The white cap is just doing it. Harrison Griffin, outstanding as he comes on from the sub-box.
Yeah, straight out of Rocky. He must be cold being coming from Rockhampton down here. And although it's a beautiful sunny day, she's pretty chilly down here in Christchurch at the moment. But here go Australia on a recount, looking to attack again. That splitter plate. Good defence again by Rocky. Good work.
Can't be flat-footed. Got to lift up off the line. Does this New Zealand team. They need to try and start to dictate.
Yeah, here they go, Australia. They're really looking to open up their options. Turner lifts that link. Did he get back on side?
They're hammering that move, aren't they? They're just catching them out on short side. I mean, it's the 101 in touch defensively, isn't it, Reece? You just don't get beaten on your short side. But look at the body position from the attacker. Had the number 1, Nat Turner, all over him. Had him on his inside. It's never a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I'm sure Turner asked us though whether or not it was he offside or ball down before the touch, but that one actually looked closer than I thought from that in-goal angle. 8-3, Australia have really run away with this one. There's still 7.5 minutes to go. Hoping to see a little bit of fight coming out of this New Zealand side with an early release from Sinclair. E4 Jones doing his best. Last touch coming up here for New Zealand. Sinclair checking off to E4 Jones, looking to give it to him live. Last touch option here, looking for the passing play. In behind the number 4. There's Yo, backs it up and gives it. And here's a little bit of a fight coming back from New Zealand, 8-4.
Watch the defender here. I think it's the link defender from Australia. He was so amazed by it. He even starts clapping. There he is. Claps for the pass. 8-4, New Zealand hit back. Plenty of time to go, but it's just Australia dominating. That was sort of like, it didn't look like it was going to happen. So good work there from Sinclair. I'm surprised that he hasn't been more involved in the attack, Reece.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you know, it's been a bit of orchestrating in terms of the attack and stuff like that. He's tried to get himself on the ball a couple of times, but maybe they're going in with a different. Here comes Turner looking to be prominent at link again. Hennessy to the open side, and the ball goes down. But yeah, it's a fight back, Maya, but 8-4 against an Australian team. That's a big margin, and New Zealand, unfortunately, just after the half-time, made a couple of critical mistakes on the yards as they try to tidy that up here. They've got some pretty good flow, but here comes Tiwi looking to get on the ball as well. Good work by young Jones there. Playing the ball, gets on the ball, comes out of half. But the shutdown defence for Australia, like you said earlier, New Zealand a little bit more reactive, Australia proactive. They're there before the pass is even made. They're just sticking to their policy and completing their sets. And at this level, gee, they're looking pretty sharp in the series at the moment, Australia. After a little bit of a shaky start, they really worked their way into a beautiful position here.
The thing is, it goes back to sort of Kiwaha you use, space, not face. And the Australians, they're always running into the space, and quite often you'll see 2 New Zealand defenders coming in to make the touch, whereas it seems more often than not New Zealanders are running to the defender, almost making his job easier. Another penalty, back-to-back penalties here.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure everyone will agree that's listening in here that has been involved against an Australian team is they're known to be physical. They'll get in front of you, you know, they'll battle you, they'll wait till the referee makes a decision. They really push the limits, and that's what gives them a little bit of an edge here. And at the moment at 8-4, they've got a pretty big edge as Turner and Sinclair, the leadership of this team, look to combo up here. Jones back on the field. Referee Dusto awards the penalty for rolling.
A lot of penalties in this game. Men's open. They either have 1,000 in them or they have 3 in them.
32 Peel look for the short side. That's a new play. And E4's repertoire really needs to get back to using his feet. He'll look to lift out a half here. Early release back to him from Sinclair in behind the link. Touch pass.
Was that an adjustment of that pod, having Sinclair and E4 on at the same time? Coach realising they need to get points on?
Got to chase the game. You know what they say, you never leave your stallion in the stable, so you got to get him out there, you know, like it's so critical this first game in the series. And at 8-4 with just under 4 minutes to go. Here we go with 4 minutes to go, really. New Zealand get their strike players out. Sinclair's, obviously, he's done a couple of sets, but he's staying out there taking the brunt of this and staying on here.
Probably the closest to the middle of the field you'll ever see. Finn Barnett. Morgan Puterangi. Haven't seen many of his big long balls. Touch made. Looking like they're going to run the sweep. Be interesting to see if they run the same thing but fake it. They do. Goes back to this left-hand side. Gets inside. Now need to lose their man. Barnett, what can he do? Davids just has to throw it. The Hail Mary.
great adjustment in the in goal of the Australian defence there. They didn't hold anybody. They just made sure that they got in someone else's way, really, and dominated the space and was able to shut their defence down, their attack down, as they just go straight back into their work. Big, heavy touch by Danyan. That's the footy player in him. As Australia look for the 3-2 platform here, coming off that right edge. Hennessy just a little bobble there, maybe a little late fatigue, but with 2.5 minutes to go on an 8-4 lead, Australia open men's here really in cruise control. Unfortunately, Maya, it's been mistake, complete set, mistake, complete set, mistake, complete set in terms of New Zealand bringing the ball off their line, and they haven't been able to create momentum themselves, completing sets and putting pressure on Australia with 2 minutes to go.
I think when you're watching this, you might be thinking, look, there seems to be some obvious fixes for this New Zealand team. They'll be pretty easy to make, but I just wonder how much the Australian team has just left in the bag too. Again, like the Open Women's game, having that 3 or 4 touchdown lead. Oh, holding his ankle. Davies, not too bad. Just twisted it there. Minute 40 left in this one, up by 4.
Yeah, a lot of smart players out here. Hennessy would have just picked up on that. The Australian Open men's, they've been really active in terms of attacking the link channel. Wouldn't surprise me if Hennessy tries to go off his right hand here. No, sets it up, Stormer plate, the 32 long, off the left hand, forward pass. Easy read there for the referees. Good defence by New Zealand. Just really looking for New Zealand to finish strong in this game going into tomorrow, into Test 2. They're not going to get the win here, but they just need to finish strong with plenty of energy just to make sure that Australia realise that they're not going to go away. As Jones works his way onto the field, maybe he can get the last one of the game. Attack the short side. Yeah.
Surely you get a bonus point. He had it on his head for at least 5 seconds. We'll see it here in the replay. Didn't look like much was on. Steps off his right, just throws a big right to left pass. Bounces up off the big guns of Poihipi. Juggles it on his head, forehead. Catches it, dots down. 5th touchdown for New Zealand. 8-5.
Fitzio or Black would have been calling that a touch while he's bobbling it there, ref. He probably would have said it with a few expletives in it, but hopefully you're listening out there, my mate, legend of our game in New Zealand, and your touch blacks, your open men's, they're fighting hard here. Australia in the last couple of seconds as they tick down.
And there we have it, the final whistle for the men's open game. The first of 3 in this 2025 Trans Tasman Test Series. 8-5, dominant performance. New Zealand out of the blocks, 2-0 the first 2 minutes, but Australia just slowly clawed the momentum back and then took hold of this game and didn't let it go all the way through to the end. Another dominant performance, one we've come accustomed to, unfortunately. Game 1 down though, 8-5, many more to come. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed these games. It was a cracker of a start, first in the mixed open, getting up across Australia. There we see it, 8-7, stunning start for the home nation. Then the Australian Open Women's, the most dominant team there's ever been in touch, come out and put the New Zealand team to the sword. And then we've seen similar there from the Australian team, 8-5 as we head into day 2. Plenty to work on for all teams. Make sure you get a good night's sleep, because if you thought today was hot, tomorrow is going to be absolutely electric. Thanks for joining us for day 1. We'll see you back same time tomorrow.